Hi, thank you very much for the kind invitation to talk about how things will change due to the COVID-19 pandemic from a research perspective. These are my disclosures. So I'm going to talk about how COVID-19 has transformed research. We know that it has transformed every aspect of society, so why not what some of us do as a job? We're going to see how we can now build an innovative research culture and how we can how we can deliver research in the future. We're going to look at technology, sustainability, inclusion, and very importantly, global collaboration. So let's start from technology. There are new ways we can deliver research. During the COVID-19 pandemic, we couldn't see people in clinic. They couldn't travel to the hospitals. And we had to implement new ways to make sure we didn't interrupt our research studies. And this has given us great ideas on what to do in the future. We can consent people electronically. We can use virtual consultation to make sure they're okay. We can do home testing for blood samples, and we can ship their medications if the trials and the research projects involve a medication intake to their home. This also increases the number of people that can take part into research. So it's quite inclusive in terms of making sure that everybody has access to research. Another important technological aspect is the use of big data. This has been discussed for a while, and big data can improve health outcomes while containing cost, because while using thousands and thousands of people data, we can detect patterns and turn high volumes of data into knowledge for precision medicine, for decision making. What do I mean exactly? Imagine that we want to understand the phenotype of an individual living with HIV who is aging, who may be at risk of developing frailty earlier rather than later in life. Big data and their analysis, obviously with the additional human factor to interpret the data, can help us do that. Importantly, it requires collaboration and adaptation to build technological infrastructure to house massive volumes of healthcare data, and also optimization of the ethical aspects of the use of big data. They are characterized by volume, velocity, variety, and veracity, and I really think this is an important aspect of the future of research, including within HIV infection. Another important tool, technological tool that we can implement into research is the use of modeling, data modeling, pharmacokinetic modeling. This has become quite popular in phase 1 and phase 2 research, including in HIV medicine. This slide, for example, shows how pharmacology researchers use the physiologically based pharmacokinetic modeling to predict the outcome of the drug-drug interactions between rifampicin and long-acting cabotegravir and rilpivirine. Drug-drug interaction studies with long-acting drugs are really difficult, and they require long period of time to take place in humans. And hence you can see that the results are quite informative for clinical practice when you apply models to your research. What about sustainability? We all need to work towards having a greener planet, to work for climate action. At Chelsea Westminster Hospital, we have a sustainability board that is closely linked to research and innovation to make sure we meet some of the key goals, the key UN 17 goals, such as, again, climate action, quality education, good health and well-being, and very importantly, reduced inequalities. This needs to be talked about when we talk about innovation in research. Because during the COVID-19 pandemic, we saw that ethnicity had an influence on outcomes in patients hospitalized with COVID-19. Black and Asian people were particularly affected by comorbidities and by negative COVID-19 outcomes such as hospitalizations and death. But how can we optimize this if we're not even very good at creating a balance in leadership in academic medicine? Publications are now available saying that we're still trapped in a single-minded mentality. Women are underrepresented as academic leaders, and pre-existing gender disparities in research and authorship have now particularly been exposed and amplified during the COVID-19 pandemic. We need to optimize this. We need to really think about cognitive inclusion as an innovative concept in research to improve the generation of research ideas and research outcome. We need agile teams that are able to implement adaptive technology into the way we work, for example. Even in the way grants are awarded, we need to make sure that this happens with a person-centered approach, and researchers are assessed holistically because of their contributions, and not just because they have more time to work because they don't have people to care for, or because they are certain gender or ethnicity. All of this, going back to innovation in HIV research, will allow us to optimize how we do things, will allow us to implement globally and faster new ways of delivering drugs, for example. So there are implants that are being studied and for the prevention and treatment of HIV. The left part of the slides shows the intracellular concentrations of islatravir, which is a nucleoside reverse translocation transcriptase inhibitor, which is developed again for the prevention and treatment of HIV, that can be included into an implant that can be changed every year. On the right side of the slide, you can see that there are microarray patches containing long-acting antiretrovirals such as rilpivirine that are being studied. And again, this will optimize quality of life, reduce stigma, and improve HIV care in general. What about vaccines? We think that what COVID-19 brought, which was an unprecedented speed in developing vaccines, including new technologies for vaccine delivery, like the RNA technology, may help with moving into human studies faster in the context of HIV vaccine. And this also has increased indeed public awareness about vaccine development, and it's important, and hopefully will be an advantage for HIV vaccine research. But this has to happen globally. Global collaboration is key. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the need for large-scale clinical trial structures according to master protocols in a coordinating collaborative manner. We need to provide similar opportunity for clinical trial research to those in the high-income countries and low-income regions. And this is what I think will deliver optimal research outcomes and information so that we can improve the health of the population. So in conclusion, the disruption brought by technology should be used as advantages to improve research delivery and health outcomes. And this should be very much true in HIV research too. Increasing sustainability of healthcare and research has become a priority, and I told you why. I think we all should work towards a greener planet. That's really innovative, and that includes research. Advancing theoretical base and research design, work for capacity, research culture, and funding mechanisms is again key to deliver an research culture characterized by equality and optimization and important clinical information that needs to be implemented to optimize the health of the population. And inclusion, again, is key to improve research ideas and delivery, as well as global collaboration. Thank you very much for your attention.